You are carrying a burden that is not yours. Come forward." Amara's legs trembled as she walked to him. She knelt before him, tears streaming down her face. "Help me, Pastor," she whispered. "I've been pregnant for 12 years. I cannot carry this any longer." The sun was hot that day in the small village of Nduka. Women carried baskets of yams on their heads, children chased chickens through the dusty roads, and the smell of roasted plantains filled this air. Among them was a pregnant woman named Amara. She was full of life, her laughter ringing like sweet music in the marketplace. She was expecting her first child, and her heart was filled with joy. Amara loved snacks. She couldn't resist buying roasted groundnuts or puff-puffs whenever she went to the market. That day, she walked along the busy road, munching on a bag of spicy chin-chin she had just bought from an old woman selling by the roadside. But Amara did not know she was being watched. In the shadows under the big baobab tree stood an old woman with cold, sharp eyes. Her name was Adaeze, but people whispered her name only in fear. Adaeze was a witch, and she hated the happiness of others. She had seen Amara laughing and talking to people earlier, and jealousy burned in her heart like fire. "She is too happy," Adaeze muttered to herself, her voice low and bitter. "Let's see how happy she will be when sorrow comes to our doorstep." Adaeze whispered strange words under her breath. Her eyes locked on Amara's stomach. As Amara ate her chin-chin, she felt a strange chill pass through her body. But she brushed it off, thinking it was just the wind. Little did she know Adaze's wicked spell had entered her womb. The days turned into weeks and weeks into months. Amara's pregnancy grew bigger, but something wasn't right. By the 9th month, when she was supposed to give birth, nothing happened. She felt no pain, no sign of labor. Her husband Chike was worried, but the village midwives assured him it will happen soon. Just be patient. But 1 year passed, then 2, then 5. Amara became the talk of the village. "How can a woman carry a pregnancy for so long?" people whispered. Some said she was cursed. Others said she had offended the gods. Amara cried every night. Her once bright laughter was gone. Her friends stopped visiting. Even Chike began to avoid her, spending more time in the fields. Amara felt like a shadow of her former self, a prisoner of her own body. One night, she knelt under the moonlight and prayed, "Oh, great God of the heavens and earth, help me. Save me from this suffering." The years continued to pass, and Amara's belly grew heavier and heavier. She could no longer walk to the market or visit the river with the other women. She stayed at home, staring out the window, watching life pass her by. One day, a traveling man arrived in Nduka. He was called Pastor Obi. He was known for his powerful prayers and his kindness to the suffering. When Amara heard of his arrival, a small spark of hope lit up in her heart. Could he be the one to help me? She wondered. Chick was skeptical. "We've tried everything," he said. "What makes you think this man is different?" But Amara refused to give up. She gathered the last of her strength and went to see Pastor Obi. As she entered the small gathering where Pastor Obi was preaching, he stopped mid-sentence. His eyes rested on Amara, and he said, "You are carrying a burden that is not yours. Come forward." Amara's legs trembled as she walked to him. She knelt before him, tears streaming down her face. "Help me, Pastor," she whispered. "I've been pregnant for 12 years. I cannot carry this any longer." Pastor Obi placed his hands on her head and began to pray. His voice was loud, filled with authority. Every evil hand that has touched this woman, every wicked spell cast upon her, I break it in the name of Jesus Christ." Amara screamed as a sharp pain shot through her stomach. It was as if something heavy was being pulled out of her. The people around her gasped as she fell to the ground. "Push, Amara, push!" Pastor Obi commanded. Sweat poured down her face as she pushed with all her might. After what felt like an eternity, a loud cry filled the air. It was the cry of a baby, a strong, healthy baby boy. Amara held her son in her arms, her tears flowing freely. For the first time in 12 years, she felt free. Pastor Obi looked at her and said, "What every pregnant woman should know is this: never take anything from strangers and always pray for protection. Evil can come in many forms, but faith will always overcome it."